Sarah, thanks. Why are high-level aides allowed to work with classified information without permanent security clearance?
Once again, that's a question that the FBI and other intelligence communities, they make that determination. That's not something that's decided by the White House. It's the same way that it has been.
Classified information, given that you have someone like Rob
I'm
Porter
sorry?
who didn't have a permanent security
I missed the
clearance.
first part of your question.
Can you guarantee that you are protecting classified information, given that you have someone like Rob Porter who didn't have a permanent security clearance?
I think we're
with
doing
access
and
to
taking
classified
every step
information?
we can to protect classified information. I mean, frankly, if you guys have such concern with classified information, there's plenty of it that's leaked out of the Hill, that's leaked out of other communities well beyond the White House walls. If you guys have real concerns about leaking out classified information, look around this room. You guys are the ones that publish classified information and put national security at risk. That doesn't come from this White House.
Is this White House
My-
jeopardizing national
What's the,
security? Is this White House
We take
jeopardizing
every
national-
precaution possible to protect classified information and certainly to protect national security. It's the president's #1 priority is protecting the citizens of this country. It's why we spend every single day doing everything we can to do that. And I think if anyone is publishing or putting out publicly classified information, it's members of the press, not the White House.
What about the president's tweet over the weekend? People's lives are being shattered and destroyed by a mere allegation. It seems like the president was believing Mr. Porter as opposed to his alleged victims. Why did the president tweet that over the weekend? Why is he seemingly defending Mr. Porter publicly? Is it because he has faced his own allegations? Is there some sensitivity there? Is that why that is?
Look, as I just said, and I'll repeat it again, the president and the entire administration take domestic violence very seriously and believe all allegations need to be investigated thoroughly. He certainly supports the victims of domestic violence above all else and believes that everyone should be treated fairly and with due process.
Is there some
The president's simply saying that there should be a due process that should be followed and looked at.
Is there tone deafness there? Is there just a being on the wrong side of things?
I don't think the president being on
Talk about it on Friday and
supporting
tweet it
due
out.
process for any allegation is not tone deaf. I think it is allowing things to be investigated and a mere allegation not be the determining factor. He's not taking a side necessarily one way or the other on any specific issue here. He's talking about mere allegations shouldn't be the determining factor for any individual, that there should be due process. I think anybody here, if they were accused of something, hold on, Jim, I'm not finished. Hold on. Jim, hold on. What I'm saying is I think anybody here, if they were accused of something, would want the opportunity to go through due process. That's all we're saying. Cecilia.
Why haven't we heard the president say exactly what you just said right there, that he takes domestic violence very seriously?
I spoke with the president. Those are actually directly his words that he gave me
Why
earlier today.
hasn't he said that? He had the opportunity.
It's
you
my
weren't
job
active
to
on
speak
Twitter?
on behalf of the president. I spoke to him and he relayed that message directly to me and I'm relaying it directly to you.
Does he believe Rob Porter's accusers, or are they lying?
Look, as I just said, the president, along with the entire administration, take domestic violence very seriously and believe all allegations need to be thoroughly investigated. And above all, the president supports the victims of domestic violence and believes everyone should be treated fairly and with due process.
That doesn't answer the question.
As I just said, I'm not going to go beyond that. That's where we are right now. Aisha.
Does the president still wish Rob Porter well? Does he still believe that he wants him to have a great career ahead of him? Because that would seem...
I think the President of the United States hopes that all Americans can be successful in whatever they do. And if they've had any issues in the past, I'm not confirming or denying one way or the other, but if they do, the President wants success for all Americans, and that he was elected to serve all Americans, and he hopes for the best for all American citizens across the country.
The vice president said he was appalled by the allegations. Why did the president not use this as an opportunity to say something like that? Why does he have to speak through you?
The president has been clear multiple times through myself and others within the administration that we condemn domestic violence in all forms.
He has not said it. Why has he not
I'm
said
the
it?
spokesperson for the White House and for the president, and I'm
Why
saying
does
it
the
to you
vice
right
president
now.
have to say it? Why didn't he say it?
I'm not sure how I can be any more clear. I think the president has espoused his views on this, and I certainly have
His views
echoed
are
and
that
told them for everyone.
He wishes Porter well, and that he believes that people should have due process, but he hasn't addressed the victims of domestic violence at all.
That's actually not true. If you were paying attention to what I just read to you, you would understand the opposite. He literally dictated that statement to me, and so I'm not really sure how that's not the president speaking on that topic.
Sarah, I want to just get back to Cecilia's point, which is that the president has a history of defending men who have been accused of sexual assault and harassment and abuse, including Mike Tyson, Bill O'Reilly, Steve Wynn, Corey Lewandowski, Roy Moore, and now Rob Porter. Would the White House like to say today unambiguously that the president believes women making these accusations?
I think the president, like I said, above everything else, supports the victims of any type of domestic violence, but the president also supports due process, and I don't have anything else further to add
I just
beyond.
want to get back to the timeline, Sarah. So the Intercept reporter Ryan Grimm tweeted out photos of Colby Holderness's black eye at 1:53 a.m. on Wednesday, and the Daily Mail published them at 8:30 on Wednesday morning. Then the White House sent CBS a statement at 1:45 on Wednesday afternoon, 12 hours after all of these photos were already published and out. Why was the White House still saying that Porter was a man of integrity and honor after these photos had circulated?
The comments that were made by members of the White House were based on our personal experience, and we could only speak to the interaction that we had personally had.
At the end of last week, the White House said that there were things that everyone could have done a better job handling the situation. Have you identified anything specific other than, I know you've mentioned law enforcement agencies and the FBI and their process. What about your process? Has the White House identified anything it could have done better in this situation to prevent something like this from happening?
I think we're looking at that internally and agree that there are things we could have done better, and we're going to continue to look at the process and the role we all played and how we can do it better. But not just in this. I think every day we come to work and we hope to do a better job than we did the day before, and we're going to keep doing that every single morning we come to work. We're going to do our best to make this day better than the last and make this country better than the day it was before. That's our goal, and that's what we're going to do in every situation. As we recognized last week, there were some things we could have done better, and we're certainly going to look at every single instance in every single thing we do, how we can always do it a little bit better than we did the day before. Josh?
We've reported, and others have too, that Don McGahn over a period of months was told repeatedly by the ex-girlfriend, by the FBI, by others in the White House about these accusations and didn't do anything. Can you explain why no action was taken by Don McGahn, the chief White House lawyer?
Those allegations that have been reported are not accurate. April?
You keep saying the president says we take domestic violence very seriously. Moving forward, how seriously will he take it? What will he do to raise awareness about it, combat against it, particularly as, again, I asked this last week of Raj, as this administration ended the Violence Against Women office, as well as closing down the Women and Girls office, what will be new and different as it relates to combating this?
I believe there's an individual that is in the nomination process to run an office specific to domestic violence. And when we have that process completed, we'll make that personnel announcement, but we are in process of doing that.
Another question really fast on infrastructure. Infrastructure is about jobs, job creation, and you're talking about rural America. When you're talking about these jobs, are there going to be guidelines as to who can and who won't be hired?
Not that I'm aware of anything to that nature.
A lot of the infrastructure projects during the Obama years, when Hilda Solis was labor secretary, a lot of those jobs went to Hispanics. And the
A lot of those jobs were never completed or started. They were announced, but nothing ever happened on them. We're expecting a very different result to actually announce and complete projects versus just announcing and doing nothing. John?
Thanks a lot, Sarah. I just wanted to get you to clarify something. I think you answered this, but I just wanted to have you clarify it if you could. It's about the White House counsel, Don McGahn. Are you saying that the White House counsel never learned until last Tuesday that there was any allegation of any sort that was ever leveled against Rob Porter?
Again, I'm not going to go into the specific details of how the process works, but I can say that we learned of the extent of the situation.
Who's we? Because I want to get to Don
The White
McGahn
House,
specifically.
the White House generally.
To Don McGahn specifically, though, had he learned at any time before last Tuesday, when this story was broken by the Daily Mail, that there was any allegation of any sort leveled by any person against Rob Porter?
Again, I can't get into the specifics. I can tell you that the process for the background was ongoing, and the White House had not received any specific papers regarding the completion of that background check. So I can't go any further than what we've already said on that front. Thanks so much, guys.
Sarah, when will he be out here? When will the president?